for a short while to explain to you where this all started, and I won't drag it out, but I want to make it really clear because there's so many things that are flying around with this company. I am still sitting as the CEO as far as the articles of incorporation and the state of Wyoming are concerned, although there's many other discrepancies that have been out there, which I'll address in a short while. In April of 2021, I was given the company through a transaction through the court administrator, Angela Collette, that she had been appointed by the Judge Karras from the previous Midland, Michigan case to be the court administrator. I took over the company and carried on by attempting to build the company with different projects. Went on for a little over a year. We actually were current. Not with audited statements, because that was an ongoing battle because of the many shares from the past, which I'll get into in a second. But we were current by filing financials and also filing an attorney letter. Up until that time, the previous management, I guess I would say, along with another gentleman who joined in, Mr. Philbrick, filed in my eyes, an erroneous 8K, which therefore in the 8K, if any of you have read it or not read it, it stated that the previous management resigned on October of 22 and also placed Mr. Philbrick as the CEO of HPIL. I'm sure many of you know that that has been ongoing now up until today, which it still is. And it took them well over a year to come to that point, but I believe it's because I was building the company and certain individuals, for whatever reasons, needed the company to fail, whether it be the shorting of the stock, whether it be toxic notes, which there were many. To back up a little bit here, when I took over the company a few months after that, I found out about these toxic notes that I was not told about at all. When I was handed the company by the court administrator, not only was I not told, I was told that she had filed a newspaper article in numerous newspapers asking if anybody has any claims that they could put it in within the period of time, of which nobody did. We went on working with the company. I had many conference calls. So to put it bluntly, the company is still at a stalemate. So if any of you who've been following it, which I think it's the majority of you, we were then brought into a case in Midland, Michigan. And the case was actually Mr. Lehman, the lawyer, who said he was acting on behalf of HPIL, which I did not bring him in, but that's what happened. Against Mr. Zhang, who was the previous person that put it into administration, and Miss Angela Collette. I was not a defendant. I did enter myself into it. Maybe that was not such a great idea, but I did. And the case approximately 3 months ago, thereabouts, was dismissed with prejudice. I thought we were home free then. That wasn't the case. Approximately a few months after that, Mr. Philbrick, again, I believe Mr. Philbrick, but it was also Mr. Lehman, the ongoing attorney, filed a federal lawsuit against many shareholders. I won't go into their names, along with myself and 2 other companies and my kids' family trust, to be honest with you. They filed a federal suit that is ongoing now. Some of the shareholders have been served. I have not been served yet, but I'm expecting to. That is the bottom line to all of this in regards to the ongoing nightmares. So what that means is when Mr. Philbrick filed the erroneous 8K, the SEC and OTC put what they call a control dispute. I have not been able to remove that control dispute, even with the dismissal of the case in Michigan. And now we have another lawsuit ongoing, which I think is just planned. They just want this thing to keep going until they finally, either I give up or the company gives up and folds its tent, so to speak. But that's where it stands right now. Over the past year, I created a name called Apogee Dynamics. That was for the purpose of what we were going to use in HPIL. That never came to fruition because of what happened. I have since then privately been developing new projects, not projects that were created during HPIL. I have numerous projects still within the EV world that are sitting in that company. As I put in the press release, was attempting to see if there was a way that I could at least bring the shareholders into a clean entity, a private entity, with then the intention of doing an IPO instead of carrying on with this polluted HPIL. I have been advised that I should not be doing that yet until the scenario of who is the actual CEO in this company. Again, to me, it is me, and that's been the case since the court administration was handed over to me. Having said that, I am still stuck in a dilemma and therefore will not be able to move forward with a reverse merger until this is cleaned up. And it could be very cleaned up in 1 second if Mr. Philbrick would allow it to be, but that's not the case. This has been an ordeal for myself. I did not buy or sell shares. I did not tell anybody to buy or sell shares. I did not have shares or take any shares until at the beginning of this transaction. And then 4 months, 5 months approximately in, I did issue myself shares and Mr. Postula, who at that time was the president. Those shares restricted still sit in my safe in my office right now. So anybody posing about pumping and dumping and many other things are just a part of this bashing, terrible scenario, which continues. I can promise you I have every intention to help still work with the shareholders of HPIL, but the roadblocks continue. And I thought I would have a plan to do that, and I still do, but it's not today because they've blocked me again because of this federal lawsuit and many other things. To back it up, and this is not for sympathy purposes, they have threatened my family. Yeah. They have threatened my home by contacting my mortgage holder and many other scenarios. I know they will deny that. They've operated under aliases that they don't know. I don't know. We don't know their real names. Maybe some do, but I don't. And everybody knows my real name. They know my office address. My phone number's not changed, and neither has my email address. But they've made it impossible. So all I can say to you today is I'm going to continue the fight, and I'm doing my best. And I do have assets that I would love to bring to the table, but they have to be done the correct way. And I know there's probably people on this. Well, they've already threatened. There are people on this conference call that are looking to just damage it even more and take some words that I say, good or bad, and do with it whatever they've done. It got to the point that just the other day, and I'm not at liberty to go into too much detail, but a Miss Collette, the previous court administrator, has filed a claim against numerous shareholders herself. In that claim, I am privy to it, and I think everybody is now because it's up on the Brevard County in Florida, which is where she resides. It states two things. Although I'm not a defendant, it states two things in there. One is that I fraudulently signed the board resolution to acquire this company way back. Although it was not, she did put it in the case in Michigan, but it was never brought up. Let me make this statement. That is a blatant lie. I then went out and got an actual forensic report by a company that does this for the court cases on an ongoing basis, who've done over 9,000 cases. And I have the document, and so do our attorneys, stating that that is 100% Miss Collette's signature. So that is a blatant lie. Secondly, in this court case that filing that just happened over the past few days, there is a paragraph in there, paragraph 64, if you guys can find the case in Florida. It states that I harassed her, threatened her, and lo and behold, I raped her. I raped her, a woman that I've never seen, never met. She's thousands and thousands of miles away from me. That is just the most ludicrous, disgusting behavior that is ongoing with this company. I could have walked away a long time ago. I chose not to. End of story. So I will carry on moving forward to do my best. I'm trying to look at every angle that how I can help the shareholders and bring them into something clean and what I planned on doing from the very beginning. But oh my goodness. So please don't take this as a cop-out. It's far from it. I'm hoping to get back and putting it out, a press release on how I'm going to do this. I am working my best to do exactly that. So I thank you. I apologize to those people who are just not happy with me, but I just laid out the facts. So if anybody else thinks that I could be doing something different, they have me tied up, and I'm doing my best. That's all I can ask. And I am the CEO, as per the state of Wyoming. And nobody, including Mr. Philbrick, even with the erroneous 8K, did not make a filing with Wyoming making the supposed changes. What does that tell you? Appreciate all of you, and have a great day. Thank you very much.
Yeah.